So that's the spring picture finished. Now I'm ready for the summer. I've got my paper ready, so away we go. With a white pastel, I'm going to indicate some cliffs on the right, some sea on the left, and I'm going to leave the horizon and do that with a piece of tape. Masking tape. Put that as straight as I can where the sky meets the sea, and starting with a nice summer sunny blue colour. This is like a cobalt blue colour, and using the pastel sideways on, spread that out across the paper. I've chosen this colour paper. This is pastel matte paper. It's a wonderful soft paper that grips the pastel really well, minimising dust. I've chosen this colour, which is called Buttercup, because it's basically the sand colour. Well, lower down here I'll introduce another paler blue. Let's make sure that tapes down and I can go over that. And this should give me a really straight edge for the sea. Use the tip of the pastel right up against the tape, and then work these two colours together using my finger in different directions, filling in all the little gaps in the paper. I think we need a little bit more higher up. Doesn't matter if you go over the cliffs, because the cliff colour can be worked on top of the sky anyway. And then we'll have a few white clouds. Lower down, I'm just going to lighten the sky by the horizon a little bit first of all. Don't press too hard for that. And then work that in the same way. Now, using the pastel sideways on again, we'll have some of these wispy clouds pointing towards the cliffs and down the beach. Bigger clouds higher up. Now, you can leave those without blending them in, but I'd like them to be a little bit softer, so I'll just use my finger to work that into the paper. If you didn't want to use your finger, you can use a pastel shaper. You just work the shaper over the surface of the paper in the same way as you would with your finger. I'll use this later on for some smaller blending where my finger might be a little bit too big. So there's the wispy clouds. Now I'll take that tape off, which should reveal a straight line for the sea. But I'll use that tape and put it on the sky for the sea. So very carefully putting it right on the horizon, and then get my sea colour. I'll start off with this one. It will probably be a little bit bright, this colour, but I can tone it down later on with some grey. Greys are very useful, I find, for neutralising very bright, vivid colours. So we've got the direction of the sea there, straight on the horizon. And I'll work a little bit of grey over the top of that. Slightly paler blue as we come into the shallows, and paler still. Slightly darker grey, and peel the tape off, hopefully revealing a straightish line. That's straight enough, but I would just like to soften that hard edge a little bit, to just make it slightly out of focus, so there's a certain mistiness. Now we'll lighten some of that grey area, just the suggestion of distant waves, using the tip or the edge of the pastel. A little bit of white, So we've got the waves breaking on the edge of the beach. And a bit of grey just underneath some of these lighter bits. Now the cliffs coming up from the edge of the sea, using the white and the edge of the pastel in the direction that the cliffs are going. And then little bits of grey. Want to vary this a little bit. And darker grey. Maybe leaving a few little bits of the paper showing through here and there, that sandy colour. A little bit more of that sandy colour, slightly paler, to break up the greys and the white. And along the beach will be little bits of rock. And on the top of the cliffs, little bits of grass here and there. A sunny yellowish green and a bit darker grey, using the sharp edge of the pastel to get some nice hard lines, broken lines, cracks in the rock. And along the edge of the sea, the sand will just be that little bit darker where it's wet. Right up to the edge, and then using the pastel horizontally to emphasise the flatness of the beach. And I'll break that up with a little bit of lighter sand colour. And there will be some of the sky and the cliffs reflecting on the wet beach downwards. And the shadow as well. And a hint of sky colour. A little bit of darker grey on the edge of these little waves. And just define the cliffs a little bit in the distance. A few more little rocks here and there. So we've got the sea coming in further up the beach. Now a few people, so we want some pinky colours, and just using the tip or the edge of the pastel, it's just going to be like a little line. This isn't dark enough, I'll go over it with the darker one in a minute. Just thinking about the size that these people would be, perhaps a little bit deeper than that. Deeper pink, a good sunburn. And as well as the figure, there'll be a broken reflection of them on the wet sand. Perhaps have one or two people sitting on the edge by the cliffs. A few towels and bags and bits and pieces. And then I'll use the pastel shaper just to soften that a little bit. And then a bit of a reflection underneath. And then a little bit of grey just across the wet sand here. just to break it up. A few more stones using the tip of the pastel. A bit of sunlight on the top of the grass and the cliffs. And just with the edge of a brown pastel, a little bit of shadow underneath some of these rocks on the right. And there we have it, the summer beach scene finished. So I started drawing the outline of the cliffs and used the tape for the horizon, working my way down the picture, the sky first, then the sea, cliffs on the right, finishing off with the figures and the reflections, the pebbles and highlights on the cliffs.
Now available to buy. Try these techniques at home whenever you wish. The extended DVD of today's workshop is now available from the Painting and Drawing channel. For further information and to order your copy, go to www.paintingdrawingchannel.com.